What if I told you that a small, silver-colored coin, something most people in South Africa once used to buy bread or a newspaper, is today worth millions of dollars? Yes, you heard that right. A 1993 South African 1 Rand coin, a coin that once jingled in ordinary pockets, has now become one of the most shocking and valuable coins ever discovered. Most people never even realized that they had something extraordinary sitting in an old wallet, a drawer, or a forgotten coin jar. But collectors around the world are losing their minds over this single piece of metal, and the reason behind it will leave you completely stunned. The 1993 South African 1 Rand coin might look simple at first glance, made of nickel-plated steel, featuring the elegant springbok antelope on one side and the portrait of Jan van Riebeck on the other. But what lies beneath this ordinary design is a hidden story of minting errors, low mintage variations, and a mystery that turned an everyday coin into a global sensation. It's not just a piece of currency, it's a piece of South African history wrapped in pure chance. To understand why this coin became so valuable, you need to go back to the early 1990s, a time when South Africa was undergoing massive political and economic change. The country was on the verge of a new era. Nelson Mandela was released from prison in 1990. Apartheid was nearing its end, and the world's eyes were on South Africa. In this backdrop, the South African Mint produced the 1993 1 Rand coin, a coin that quietly marked the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. But what they didn't know was that this ordinary coin would later become the talk of the numismatic world. Now here's where the mystery deepens. During the minting process, a few 1993 1 Rand coins were struck using leftover dies from 1992, creating a rare die error that was almost impossible to notice with the naked eye. These coins bore subtle differences in the font, the spacing of the word Rand, and the fine details of the springbok's horns. Only a handful of these error coins were ever released into circulation, and most were never seen again. Decades later, collectors discovered these oddities, and when the first one was sold at auction, the bids skyrocketed. One of these coins fetched over $1.2 million USD, shocking collectors and ordinary people alike. But the story doesn't stop there. Apart from the die error version, there's also a proof strike version of the 1993 1 Rand coin, coins that were minted with extra precision for collectors, featuring a mirror-like finish and flawless detailing. Only a very limited number of proof coins were ever made. In perfect condition, graded by professional agencies like PCGS or NGC, these coins can sell anywhere between $50,000 and $300,000, depending on their grade and rarity. Imagine a coin you could once find in your pocket now worth more than a luxury car or even a house. That's the power of rarity and historical significance combined. And what makes this even more fascinating is that many people in South Africa still have these coins lying around, completely unaware of their hidden fortune. So, how do you know if you have one of these valuable versions? First, check the date, 1993. Then, look closely at the details. The valuable versions often have tiny variations in the lettering, especially in the words South Africa and Rand. The springbok's legs and horns might appear slightly different compared to the normal coins. If the coin has a glossy, proof-like surface, that's another major indicator of value. And finally, always check the coin's condition. A coin in uncirculated or mint state can be worth 100 times more than a worn one. Collectors are always hunting for these coins because 1993 was such a transitional year. It represents the final stage before South Africa's first democratic elections in 1994, a historic moment that changed the nation forever. Coins from that era are symbols of transformation, resilience, and hope. Owning one isn't just about having a piece of metal, it's about holding a piece of living history. Now, some versions of the 1993 1 Rand were struck on the wrong planchets, meaning they were accidentally printed on metal blanks meant for other coins. These planchet errors are ultra rare and almost impossible to find. But when they do appear, they send shockwaves through the collector's market. One such error coin reportedly sold for $2 million, breaking all expectations and solidifying its place as one of the rarest modern African coins ever. There's also a mysterious batch of coins known as the Ghost Mint Strikes. Coins that were rumored to be produced outside the official South African mint, using real dies that somehow leaked into private hands. While this story remains debated, the existence of these coins has been confirmed by a few private collectors. If proven genuine, their value could surpass everything seen before, possibly reaching into the multi-million-dollar range. But even without the errors, the 1993 1 Rand has a charm of its own. It marks a significant period of unity and change when South Africa stood on the edge of a new dawn. For collectors, that kind of symbolism adds emotional and historical value, something money can't buy. That's why auctions for these coins often become heated battles, with bids coming in from across the globe, from London to Dubai to New York. If you ever come across a 1993 1 Rand coin, don't rush to spend it or sell it cheaply. Take a closer look. Get it checked by an expert, because you might just be holding a hidden treasure, one that could change your life overnight. Every coin tells a story, and some stories are worth far more than gold. And remember this, it's always the most ordinary things that hide the greatest surprises. A coin, a note, a stamp, all can become priceless pieces of history when time decides to reveal their true worth. The 1993 South African 1 Rand is living proof of that mystery, reminding us that fortune often hides in plain sight. So next time you go through an old wallet, a coin box, or even your grandmother's purse, pay attention to every detail. Because that small piece of metal with the springbok on it might just be your ticket to fortune. One tiny coin worth millions. One piece of history forgotten by time, until now. If you found this story as shocking as we did, then don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more unbelievable coin stories from around the world. You never know. The next video might reveal the million-dollar treasure sitting right under your nose.